Story for you. Thanks for tuning in to the newest Viva Goth Vegas. I have a story for you. It was Christmas. I was in the shopping center trying to find gifts for everybody. This shopping center is good because it has a lot of different stores. It has a Tilly's, it has a Target, it has a GNC, it has a Nordstrom Rack. And while I was shopping, I came across a store I'd never heard of, Sheffield's Tea, Spices and Tea, Sheffield Spices and Tea. So I came in here, and it's a cornucopia of tea and spices, and I gave gifts, and people went out of their minds. The tea's amazing, the spices are amazing. This is a Las Vegas gem. This is a side of Las Vegas you don't normally know. You don't think of sipping tea and putting spices on food as something you would do in Las Vegas, but it's here. It's an oasis, a classy oasis in this desert, and I got to see Mr. and Mrs. Sheffield and get some insight on this burgeoning small business, so check it out. I'm here with Mr. Sheffield of Sheffield's Tea and Spices. Now, how did you get into the tea trade?
Well, my wife Cheryl wanted to change occupations, to change from an accountant into a spice store.
Right.
And then because I'd seen stores like this around the country that had both spices and teas and other products, developed the idea of having like 3 stores in one. So we have like a whole tea section, a whole spice section, and a whole another section for oils and vinegars and other products.
Right.
So that's how it kind of like took shape. So by the time we opened, we had it developed into what you see here today.
Which I like. Now, what year is this about?
It was almost 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So 2013.
Okay, so you were working a corporate America.
Yes.
And now you've got your own store. You're on your own. How is it being your own boss?
It's a lot of work, a lot of long hours.
Right.
It definitely isn't for someone looking for an easy way, easy money, and the life of riches and no work, because it takes a lot of time to build a store, build a client base.
Right.
And almost 4 years open, it still takes a lot of work, a lot of hours.
Sure.
And so you're still waiting for to continue to grow.
All right, now, do you have a little more sympathy for your old boss?
Well, actually, I'm still in corporate America, so I have a business on the side, but Cheryl's here full time, so it's when you're working for corporate America, it's different because you're pretty much 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much 24/7.
So you're 9 to 5 and 24/7.
Yes, I am.
Oh, and so how do you find because I've had people tell me that I've given the gifts to, this is the best tea they've ever had. Where do you find this tea?
Well, we deal with, there's only so many tea companies in the world. There's hundreds and hundreds of importers that import the tea, they blend the tea, and they sell it to stores. And like us, we buy it from many different companies who import it. They do the blends, and so we buy it from them, and then we break it down into smaller packages. We do some of our own tea blending as well. So we buy the raw product and combine it into various teas also. Same thing on the spice side. We deal with large spice importers, and we do all of our own spice blending. Mm-hmm. And so we deal with a lot of the big companies, so also supply a lot of the big spice companies as well.
Right. It's almost like you're a pirate. You're getting you're selling spices, you're selling tea, you're like on the high seas.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that's the way the trade was over hundreds of years. They would buy the spices and teas from all around the world and bring it back to England or the New World and
right.
Sell them to the public.
In this case, the New World is Las Vegas, and I wouldn't think that there'd be a market for tea in Las Vegas, but apparently there is.
There's a market for tea and spices everywhere. People drink tea, people cook, so you need spices to cook with and tea to drink.
And you're surrounded by corporate America. There's a Target, there's Sprint, there's Nike. How does this? This is such a quaint, cozy place. How do you stay in business in this shopping center with all these monolithic corporate stores?
Well, actually, they help because they bring the people into the shopping center, and the people that are passing by our store, driving by, walking by, they just may see us. They'll see the sign, and they just stop in and realize, oh, it's a spice store, it's a tea store, and then they come in. Others, they just find us online, so they find us in various ways. So big corporate America help us by bringing people into the shopping center, and then by word of mouth, we've just grown from that. And now that we have a more prominent internet position, people are finding us many ways with all the different, searches online, but a lot of it is just walking by and finding us.
Right. Now, what is it about tea that you think that people love? I mean, what is it about tea? There's some people that are really just manic about tea. They love tea. What do you think it is?
Well, for thousands of years, tea has always been a healthy drink. Going back to China, which started the whole tea trade. It washed over into India with the Brits, and into other countries too. And so it's always been considered a healthy drink.
Right.
So it's always been there. It's gotten a big resurgence probably from the 70s movement towards herbal teas, and lately for the past 10, 15 years, it's just that tea is viewed as a healthier drink.
Right.
Because in many cultures, there's a lot of health benefits to teas, green teas especially. They've done a lot of medical research on it, so it's just has less caffeine than coffee.
Right.
Herbal teas have no caffeine, and so depending on what the herbal tea is made from, the ingredients, it just can have other health benefits as well from the fruits and flowers that are in it, to the base green tea itself.
This is an odd question, but since marijuana is not legal in Las Vegas, have some people come in thinking possibly the spice and tea is code for something?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they come in looking for spices, as like in the synthetic weed.
Right.
People saw some oil and vinegar cruets, thinking they were bongs. I mean, so yeah, we get crazy people in here pretty much every week. Someone thinking they're looking for for some type of spice.
Yes. Different type of spice.
Spice, yeah.
But then they can cook with the spices, so it works out when they get the munchies and they get a nice meal instead of.
There we go. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the wildest thing you've ever done in Vegas?
Wildest thing? Probably just popped on $100 bills at a roulette table.
And did you win?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not in years, though. It just takes up all the time now.
You were telling me that people come to you and they have like a spice blend they have in mind. They bring you like a product they find in the store that has a lot of chemicals and other things in it, and you replicate it.
Yeah, you can never perfectly replicate anything they bring into you because, first of all, the original manufacturer, they don't tell you the full list of ingredients.
Right.
They bury it under natural flavor or all-encompassing spices. So you have to go by taste. And we'll say in the 4 years we've had the store open, our palates have gotten more sensitive to a lot of the flavors, so we can pick out a lot of different spices just by taste. So when you try to re-engineer a product or just create a product from scratch, you can put together different components to get the final flavor you're looking for.
Right.
So when you look at some of these, it may have 20, 30, 39 was the greatest one we saw. Someone brought one in this week.
Okay.
39 ingredients on a formula. That's impossible. You can't taste everything.
And you and your wife are sitting at home experimenting, trying to get that formula down?
We didn't even try that one. Shake the bottle and it's nice and loose.
Right.
But a natural type of store, as ours are kind of natural with no chemicals, sand.
Sand?
Silicon dioxide.
Oh.
That's actually food grade sand, like playground sand. But it's real fine and real.
And they put that in the spices that you find in the stores.
Yep. So as what's called a flowing agent, so you can pour the spices out of the bottle, and it keeps all the ingredients from caking together. We don't use any artificial we don't use any colorings because you can find a lot of things on the jars that make something real red. Most spices are not naturally that red, so they have to use some form of color They don't use like the dyes in a lot of them, although some still do. But spices tend to use other type of colorations that we don't use. So
there's no sand in these spices.
Nope, there's no anti-caking agents. There's no all those extraneous ingredients.
How many nights a week are you experimenting with spices and teas and blending things?
Usually just maybe just a couple hours at a time. Every week or so. It just depends because it's very demanding when you go to create a new blend.
Right.
So you have to just do various versions of it. Maybe you get what you want. If we do something from scratch, it may take us 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Other times it may take us 10, 15, or 20 times because you're tweaking different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Some are very complex when you get a lot of your exotic blends from around the world. So there's very complex and very tricky to deal with.
Right. So the cutoff would be probably 11 herbs and spices, or
no, we have some that have close to 20, and some of your curries are very complex.
Right.
Some North African blends are very complex. And again, we have some barbecue rubs that are very complex too.
Right.
A lot of flavors. So there's no particular cutoff at any point. You just know what flavor you're going for, and it's like there's little bits of pieces in this and that. Like Grandma's sitting down and for Sunday dinner, she has all these different spices in that.
Right.
Same as blending a spice.
Oh, okay. So I'm just picturing the two of you like mad scientists, like mixing teas and mixing spices.
Yeah. Usually just one of us will tackle it, and then we'll show it to the other one. We'll say, what do you think this tastes like? What do you think it looks like? And then we'll talk to each other, discuss it, and then go back to the drawing board and tweak it again and try another version of it. So neither of us work on, or both of us don't work at the same time on it. It's always one will make it, and then the other will critique it, and then by the time we're done, we'll say yes, that's it, and then we try it on the food.
Right.
The final bottom line is how does it taste on what we're cooking, what we're blending for, beef, chicken, fish, whatever it may be, vegetables.
Right. So it's a good way to spice up your marriage.
I didn't say that, you did.
Yes, I did.